On this week's podcast, we have self-made boss lady, Leonie Roberts. Yeah, kid. Welcome everybody back to another episode of the Handsome Homebuyer podcast. My name is Charles, a.k.a. the Handsome Homebuyer, a.k.a. Captain Permit, a.k.a.
El Judío Maravilloso.
Bro, there was no Latin flair in that.
Not Latin.
At all. We have a boss on the podcast today, but before we go there, Levy, do you know who also is a boss in the permit world?
I believe I know.
Who?
Can you remind me?
Captain Permit. 516-513-8838. If you need plans, you need permits, if you need anything permit related, we're quick, we're easy, we are a good time. We got you from coast to coast, tip to tip, and by that I mean Elmont to Montauk, interior alterations, commercial, new construction, decks, sheds, legalizations, whatever you need. And we have the best, most adequate, and I believe best looking permit crew in the business. 516-513-8838. Obviously, I'm the Handsome Homebuyer. If you have a house that smells like cat pee, is dated from the 1960s, 6 inches of mold on the wall, human waste floating past the basement steps, land, commercial property, trailer parks, I don't care. I don't even care if it's a Long Island. If it's a Long Island, all the better. If it's in the boroughs, that's great too. If it's across the country, I don't give a shit. I want to buy it. 516-777 sold. Quick shameless plug for the text platform. Listen, how many people out there, well, ask today's guest, was there a point in time where you would just get into the real estate game and you wish you had like a mentor or somebody who wasn't full of shit, who didn't want anything from you, who you just shoot a text to and get some insight or bounce something off of when you were learning about real estate?
Absolutely. It's so funny. I was just talking to someone about this. It's like I made so much money and lost it because I had no mentors. Like I just went to spend it.
So people out there, you have no excuse. New text platform, 516-871-3511. Text me. It is my text platform, community platform, goes directly to me. This is not a bot. I am the guy answering. I get back to people once a day. If you have any kind of question about real estate, development, rentals, construction, you name it, whatever is in this elongated skull, I'm down to give it to you. 516-871-3511. All right. That was intense, right?
It was.
Yep. No, sober, no coffee. I only drink water. I am pure. Like if you want a kidney, if you need a kidney, I'm the guy you want it from. All right. So today's podcast guest, 20 years in the real estate business. She is straight fire, super impressive. I've been following her on the IG. She owns a construction company, a property management company, rentals. She's an interior designer. She can salsa dance like a gazelle. She has an appreciation for amazing hats, so you know that already she is close to my heart. She is Leonie Roberts. Thank you for gracing us. I really appreciate it. I feel loved because apparently you turn down podcasts all the time, and I'm very happy that you agreed to come here because I feel like you have a phenomenal story and I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
And you are running shit and I want to hear all about it, and I know people want to too. So the first question that I have, because you briefly touched on this on the phone and a little bit here, is you've been in the game for 20 plus years. How did you get into real estate?
So believe it or not, I got into real estate at a very young age. At 19, I interned at a bank and they had a real estate department, and back then you couldn't verify resumes, so I made up a lot of shit on my resume.
Okay.
And they didn't want to hire me. And one guy was like, you know what? I love her drive. So even if like half the shit she's saying is bullshit, let's hire her. And I became like the #1 salesperson at that time, 20 years old.
Where does the drive come from?
You know what? When I was young, I always liked nice things. And I dated older men, and they would, buy me nice things. And then it got to the point where they were very demanding. So I said, wait a minute, I could do this myself. I don't need a guy to buy me nice things. I could just get a good job.
Amen.
Make a lot of money, and I could buy my own nice things. So this way, I could just tell a guy to step off. So yeah, that's where it came from. That's my drive. Yeah.
So when you do everything in real estate.
Yeah.
A mixed bag. And I said to you before, I'm like, I don't know how you have time to do this because you have your hands essentially in everything that you do.
I think it's more of like time management. As you get older, you learn how to manage your time better. Sorry.
That's cool. Don't worry.
You learn how to manage your time better. It's like, even though I do property management, I'm not managing 100 properties at a time. I might have like 2 or 3 properties because I work for investors as well. I have my own properties.
Okay.
And then I also, do the construction.
Are you a realtor also?
No, I didn't renew my license. I was, but I never, since I'm so heavily involved into the property management, construction, fix and flipping, I never renew my license. So I just, if I have a deal and a realtor gives me a deal, I'll give it to them to list it, like depending on the situation. So I work with a lot of realtors, but I'm not a realtor.
So when you first got into, real estate and the investing aspect and whatnot, did you start doing the construction first? Did you fix and flip first? So
what I started doing actually was commercial residential financing and real estate. So I had my real estate license and I also did commercial and residential lending.
Okay.
And then, I bought a couple of properties in Brooklyn, kept them, fixed them up, rented them out, sold them. And from that, my ex-husband was a developer and he had a construction company. So I learned a lot from him.
That's cool.
And, I've been doing it ever since.
But you basically got the bug, saw it, and just went with it.
You know what? A lot of times, my first, I don't know, well, you say you've been in the business for 5 years, but I remember I bought my first house at 21. And back then, they had this loan. It was called a Title I loan. I don't know.
No, I've never heard of this.
So what it was like a home equity loan that they gave you $25,000. So that was just to do one bathroom. I paid $25,000 to do one bathroom. So when I realized the cost of things and I was just spending money, $6,000 to paint a house, I said, this is expensive. So I said, this is crazy. I have to do this myself.
Okay.
So that is another reason why I'm like, I got to get into this construction business so I don't get ripped off. And then I realized with women and men, women are more detailed. Even with flipping, I go into a house that a guy's flipping and he does the basic stuff where I'm very detailed. I'll put a wine cooler in there, special lighting, gold fixtures. Guys just do the basic stuff. So all my properties were selling before I even listed them.
Yeah.
So
that's been a big thing for us. So, I mean, typically we're cranking out a ton of houses and I don't get involved in the design aspect because I'm not good at it. So I originally had an interior designer who once a year would come in and do 3 bathrooms for me and we would just build the same house over and over and over again because that was part of my training. And then this year I realized, I'm like, you know what? I wanted to take it to another level. You have to be giving people a product that nobody else has. So I hired an interior designer who does each house, and it is the greatest thing that happened in my business all year. I mean,
details and even closets. I would look at houses and the closets are so small. I'm like, what's going to fit in there? So every single house that I do, I make sure I have a walk-in closet. Doesn't matter how big or how small the house is, because that's important for women make the decision when you're buying a house. It's not the husband, it's the wife that really makes the decision.
And it makes the little subtleties make a really big difference. So it's important. People out there, you have to align yourself with people who, if you don't have the taste or you don't have the time, call up somebody like yourself and have them do it.
Yeah, I have investors, like 3 or 4 investors. Actually, I'm working on 3 properties right now with different investors. I'm doing everything. They're not even coming to the house. I'm doing the construction. I'm doing the design, everything.
So I really commend you for that because, and if you're interested in this, people call me all the time asking for that. And I say to them, I don't have someone to refer you to because I hate contractors.
Yeah.
It's the hard. People always say, Charles, if I only had the money, I would do exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
Listen, money's the easiest part of this whole charade.
Yeah.
Contractors are the hardest part.
Yeah, they are. And finding good contractors. So
difficult.
I have 3 different crews of guys, and I do everything on a schedule. I notice with men contractors, and not to bash them, but they take on so many jobs and collect money and they don't seem to finish it. So my thing is I put people on a schedule and I let them know, listen, we'll start next month, the following month. If you can wait for me, then I'll do it for you. But I'm never going to, overextend myself doing something that I just don't have the time to do.
See, everybody has their own unique skill set, right? And you understand construction, but I can't hammer a nail, but I understand it.
Yeah.
You are a business person.
Yeah.
You know how to put everything together and structure it right so that it gets done.
Yeah.
So there's just because somebody is a plumber or a carpenter or a painter or whatever it is, doesn't mean they know how to run a business.
Yeah.
That is a very separate skill set.
And then too, I notice a lot of contractors, they want to do everything. I have, my electrician, my plumber, my carpenter, my roofer, everybody can't do everything. You have to separate. In the beginning, when I first started doing this, I'm like, oh, you know how to do everything? Go ahead and do it. Then the roof was leaking, the freaking plumbing was done wrong. So I'm like, I got to get a licensed, person for each aspect of the job. And, the more you do it, the...
So I'm curious to know how you deal with investors, because a lot of investors are assholes in the sense that they are uninformed, uneducated, and cheap.
Well, it depends on what type of investor you're dealing with. Like for me, I deal with seasoned investors. And it's funny because one of the contractors I was talking to, he's like, oh, you're dealing with that investor? I don't like him. I'm like, I work fine with them. I think that because I'm a female and because I don't take shit, like I get a different type of respect. I get a different type of respect.
I think, I don't know if it's gender specific. I just think it's your energy. Yeah. It's your energy. It's what you put out.
Yeah. And when I say I'm going to do something, it's going to get done. It's not like, oh, I'm going to do it and it doesn't get done.
And it's very apparent when somebody meets you that this is who you are.
Yeah.
Like I watch you on Instagram, obviously. Everybody feels like they know each other.
Yeah.
But I had that one DM interaction with you and I'm like, I like her.
Thank you.
She gets stuff done. She's professional. So
and I try to be straightforward. It's hard nowadays. I find like a lot of people are full of shit in every business, but mainly real estate. Like people tell you something and it's not what it is. So I try to be straightforward, with people, no matter what. I think it's like I said, it's the best thing. And when people respect that.
So how do you set it up with your investors? It sounds like the ideal situation for an investor in the sense that you are like a one-stop shop.
So what I like to do is I like to ask them realistically, if they have a house, what's your budget?
Okay.
In $50,000, $100,000. So this way I know what we could do and what we can't do.
Okay.
So, okay, my budget's $50,000. What can I get done for $50,000? Okay, we're going to do the bathrooms. We're going to do the kitchen. Maybe put carpet on the floor. Certain things we can and cannot do. So this way I know. That's how it is. Because if not, then you'll go in there and tell them, oh, this you have to do this, you have to do that, and then they don't have the money to do it. So I like to always get that out the way. What's your budget?
Yeah, no, and that makes sense.
Yeah.
How are you finding? Like, what are you seeing out in the market right now?
I think everything is super expensive, super expensive. We used to get at least 2 properties a month.
Okay.
Yeah. Now everything is so expensive. Like even if you're getting a deal, I think wholesale deals are like retail deals now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we don't know what's going to happen. So, you just got to be careful and make sure that it makes sense.
I guess it all really, ironically, so last year, I didn't do a tremendous amount of deals compared to what we normally do because I felt it was super expensive.
Last year.
Okay. So I don't, and then COVID hit and I just went all in. So I bought like 17 houses the first month.
After COVID?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So so when COVID hit, I'm like, that's it. It's a reset because what I noticed is the economic recessions and increases are always very similar. What makes them happen is different, but the ramifications are always the same. Meaning, like credit tightens up.
Yeah.
Like all these guys that were borrowing private money, all of a sudden they lost their credit lines, and I was like, I raised private money, so I'm like, I'm in.
Got it.
So I went and bought a ton of stuff. So ironically, this year for me has been better.
Yeah.
And then going through like non-traditional marketing channels, like all the social media and stuff, I've been getting more deals. But last year, I had to sit on the sidelines because I thought prices were so crazy.
I know you wish you would have bought all those properties last year that you were getting, right?
Prices were so crazy last year.
It was cheap.
Yeah?
You don't think so?
No, I thought I didn't see the spreads last year. I guess it all depends. It's interesting because now I'm finding a lot of stuff, but a lot of people are telling me they can't find deals.
I mean, I find deals, don't get me wrong, but like for me, like it just has to make sense because we don't know what's going to happen. Yeah. And then being out here in Long Island, like everyone wants to move to Long Island, but how long is that, going to be before the bubble bursts? Because eventually it has to. The only thing that's saving us is interest rates are so low right now.
Yeah, I think
I think these houses are way overpriced. Yeah.
Houses are really crazy priced. I still think we have another like 2 or 3 years of this.
Yeah, you think so? Hopefully.
Yeah, this is my so this is kind of interesting. So I got my master's at NYU in real estate development.
Okay.
And when I was there, they taught us about the last 100 years of recessions.
Okay.
So this is one of the coolest things I learned there. That was a life-changing experience. But if you track the last 100 years of recessions, there's a major crash like 2007. It takes 8 years to recover. Then there's a minor crash, like right now, like a minor recession. Doesn't have to be real estate specific.
Got it.
Takes 2 years to recover, which that makes sense. The government comes in, artificially inflates everything, pumps money into it, which brings us out of it because they're trying to avoid a bigger crash. We get about 5 years, and then we crash again.
So you think we have another couple of years?
I think we have another couple of years of it. I think we have another like 5 years or so before something really bad happens, like 2008 bad. But for right now, I mean, think about it. There's no inventory on Long Island.
None.
They're not doing auctions.
Yeah.
In the first-time home buyer market, which is what I do mostly, there wasn't a lot before. Now you don't have auctions. You have a ton of people leaving the city, coming out here, and you have dirt cheap interest rates.
Yeah.
And the Fed has already said till 2022 they're keeping rates super low.
Yeah.
So I think we...
As long as people keep their jobs, I think we'll be fine. But we don't know with this whole COVID thing what's going to happen. I'm hoping that that's not the case. But like right before COVID, I went into contract on a house I was getting for $350, and I tried to back out of it. I'm glad that I couldn't back out of it, because right now, when I probably sell that house for $800.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you you do everything as far as, so you hold rentals.
I do.
You just do basic fix and flips. You put dormers. You do new construction homes too?
I do. Well, this one is kind of a new construction. I try not to because it just takes such a long time. But now that I know I have you to, pull the permits and such.
There we go.
You might end up doing some new construction.
What do you like best?
I like simple in and out.
You like simple in and out?
Yeah. Just simple rental, $50,000, $60,000, and sell the property in less than 4 months. Yeah. Those are the best deals. Do
you stick to certain areas? Are you over Long Island? Are you in the boroughs too?
Well, I like the Belmore, Merrick, Freeport, Baldwin areas. I mean, now I'm moving.
Everybody wants to do that.
I know. Now I'm moving further out to Suffolk County, but I love Long Island. I'm a Long Island girl. So
where did you learn, like, the analysis part of it? How did you learn all that?
So I believe it or not, I had to learn like the hard way. Like when I first started doing flipping, I lost money because I was just going in and spending so much money into the house and like, I'm going to sell this house for this amount, like not realizing that, that's not going to happen. So I didn't lose money per se, but I didn't make any money.
Okay.
So,
but even that's not bad.
It is, but when you're into a deal for like, 8-9 months, you want to make some money.
Of course.
Yeah, so then I was like, I have to kind of think differently. Like maybe I'm not going to put hi-hats throughout the whole house. Maybe I'll just put it like, in one part of the house and just do regular lighting. So things like that you learn as you go along.
Yeah, no, I think people always come up to me and they're like, Charles, listen, I want to do what you do.
They think it's easy. Everybody thinks it's easy.
People do. I think the thing that scares me the most is I want, like you see all the content I put out, I want everybody to get into real estate. Real estate is awesome. And I think there's so much opportunity for everybody. It's the abundance mentality.
Yeah.
But you need education and training.
Yeah.
And you just happen to be a certain type of person where you're super savvy and you were able to work through it and get it done. But I am not. I spent 3 to 4 years training with a mentor before I ever did my first deal.
Yeah. A lot of people want to do that. I get a lot of messages about, people wanting me to mentor them. And honestly, I don't really have the time for that. Like I'm so busy. Even people wanting to follow me around, like you'll see me in the car, I'm working by myself. I do everything by myself. Like I'll go to the job site, talk to the guys. Like I'm not, I can't have my day. Every day is different for me. I don't know what I'm doing from day to day.
So I know you touched on this before, but I always ask it because I'm curious for myself because I am not the most organized person.
I'm not organized. I'm not organized. If you come in my office, like I have papers all over the place. Like I keep stuff like notes. I am not an organized person.
But I
know like what I have to do. Like when I get up, I was like, all right, I know I have to do this.
But is it organized? Like if I walk into your office, I'll be like, oh, this is like chaos. But you know where everything is.
I know this pile, that pile.
Exactly.
I even thought about getting an assistant, but I'm like, last time I had an assistant, I ended up doing everything myself. So I'd rather put in the extra work. And believe it or not, I don't work a lot. Like people think I work 7 days a week, but it's not like constant. It's more of a, I have people that I know they are doing what they're supposed to do, and that matters. It's
what drives you? Like what gets you going?
Money. I love money. I love nice things.
Well, listen.
That's what drives me, money.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, it's just I always like to get into the psyche of people to understand what really drives them. Like for me, it's
freedom too. It's freedom. Like money gives you freedom to do the things that you want to do, whether it's, do you have kids?
No.
Okay. Whether it's to take care of your kids, travel, gamble, whatever habits that you have to support, you need the money.
Do you kick back and enjoy though? Because from your social media, it seems like you are running and gunning. Yes, I work hard and I play hard. You have to have balance in life. You can't just work. I'm 44 years old, so yeah, gotta live life. But there aren't, and you were always balanced like that?
I think when I was younger, I worked a lot more.
Okay.
I still party, but I worked a lot more when I was younger.
How did you start getting into the design, the property management? Did you kind of start with one thing and then just little by little? People
are like, oh, can you do this? Even with the construction, I never did construction. I would just, buy properties and fix and flip them. And, it's like, oh, can you do my bathroom? Can you do my kitchen? So it's like, you know what? Let me get this thing together. So, if anyone asks me, I could do it. So I'm doing a project right now in Brooklyn. It's a friend of mine. He has a 6,000 square feet restaurant. He's opening. He's like a celebrity chef.
Okay.
And I'm doing like his whole restaurant for him.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think
I've done salons. Obviously commercial space, residential space. I do. So
at this point, is it just all word of mouth business?
It's all word of mouth. All word of mouth. Everything word of mouth. Just
no social media, no advertising.
I get a lot of business from Instagram, believe it or not.
Yeah.
But it's like, I wanted to start a business page, but I said, you know what? I don't need to start a business page. I'll just keep the one page that I have, because it's like a lot of it is just about me. So I'm like, if someone wants to, look at my work and call me, then I'll give them a price to do the work.
And then you told me before, you're in the private money lending space also.
Yes.
So how did that happen?
So, I started with this particular lender that I do a lot of business with. We did so many deals, and then investors would come to me like, oh, what are you getting? What are you doing? And I told them, I'm like, listen, if you want me to do it for you, I'll get it done for you. So it just, and I have like 3 investors that I work with right now, hedge funds, that I lend from.
Nice.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not something, like I said, I'm sitting here promoting. Like if someone asks me, I'm like, yeah, no problem. I'll take care of it for you. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just that's.
I think everything is like goes hand in hand too.
Yes.
Just like you're doing the permits, you're doing this, you're fixing, you're flipping, you're doing construction, so it might sound like a lot, but like, don't call me and ask me to, be partners in a restaurant. Like, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
You have to do what it is you know how to do.
Yeah. No, you stay in your lane. That makes sense.
Yeah.
See, I have all this stuff that I'm managing, but I didn't want to. I had to do it out of necessity. So I did my first fix and flip. After I spent 3 years training, it took me a year to get the first house. When I finally got the first house, once I got the first house...
See, you're opposite of me. I'm just like, if I have my mindset on something, I'm going to just do it. I have so many people that call me like, oh, I paid this amount of money for this class and that class, and I want to learn from you. It's fixing and flipping and being an investor is something that you just have to get out there. And you have money? Because if you don't have money, I don't even know why we're talking right now. And I hate when people call me like, oh, I have $5,000. What can I do? I'm like, nothing. Put your money in the bank.
Yeah.
Because right now in New York, if you don't have $100,000 liquid that you're going to miss for 6 months, it doesn't make sense for you to even think about flipping, unless you have like partners and you want to do something with a partner, but you need real money to do it.
The crazy thing that was happening before COVID though, that I saw, is you had a lot of these lenders that were lending like 90% of the purchase price, 100% of the reno.
Okay.
And then like you get 2 guys would 2 or 3 guys would come in with like $10,000 and they'd be buying houses at the steps.
But even when you do that, like if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to just end up like, I have investors 100%. That I've lent to, and they didn't know what they were doing. Like they were like, oh, it's taking so long to do the construction. I'm like, well, did you think about this before? Like, did you pull a permit? A lot of times if I go into contract and I know I'm getting the property, I'm pulling my permits, I'm getting my plans done. So by the time I close, I'm not losing any time. People don't understand that. Or they're like, oh, we didn't know that the plumbing was bad behind the walls. Like those are the inexperienced things that, unforeseen things that you don't know about.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. But the stuff. So I started the first job I ever did. I did this house and I hired a general contractor because again, I don't even have a hammer and nail. Like there was nothing handy about me at all. And I quickly realized, I was like, these guys are a nightmare. Like they don't show up, this and that. So from the second one, I built my own construction company. Opened up a construction company, hired guys. Now I have a construction company. And then with the permit thing, I'd use probably 12 or 15 expediter architects. They would disappear. Some of them still owe me money. They took off and never paid me.
So you said, let me just do it myself. That's how I feel. I used to pay guys $200 a day. Like, $200 a day. And I'm like, why is this shit taking so long? It's like, you know what? I'm going to do this myself. This is crazy. So it's live and learn, like, But it's just, like, you seem to manage it really well. I get to the point where I'm just like, I love that, though. It's so much. And it's crazy because I have friends that go through stuff and they'll call me like, oh my God, I'm so stressed out. I'm like, calm down. Whatever it is, we're going to fix it. Don't worry about it. You have to. In this business, you cannot let it.
You never get worked up ever.
I do get worked up, but my workup is a different type of workup. I'm just like, oh, fuck. But I deal with it. I think for every problem, there's a solution.
Of course.
And once you get to the point where you realize there's certain things you don't have control over, then I think, it's a lot easier for you.
Were you always like that, or does this come with age and wisdom?
It came with experience and age. Yeah.
Are you I know that you do renovations in the commercial space. Are you thinking about, or do you get into the aspect of commercial investing?
No. I wish I could. Everything is just so freaking expensive right now to buy, like, 20 family, 10 family. It's expensive. How
did you get into rentals?
I had properties and I realized that if I'm not selling the property within a certain amount of time, I might as well just rent it out. So I have properties that I wanted to flip, and I said, I'm just going to keep it. I'm not making a shitload of money on it, but it's still money coming in. like 1 and 2 families.
Plus you're building equity, you're paying down principal, and it's a legacy.
But and that's the next thing too. Like you have to have an exit strategy. Like I talk to investors, I'm like, what's your exit strategy? They're like, oh, we don't know. I'm like, what do you mean you don't know? It's either going to flip it or you're going to rent it out. You can't say you don't know. Because a year has passed. You're paying hard money now. After a year, you know what happens with hard money. Now you end up paying 6 points, 15%. So the only person that's really making money is the hard money lender. So with me, if I get into a property and after 3-4 months, I'm like, either it's not selling, I'm like, you know what, let me just refinance it.
Okay.
And rent it out. I'm not losing money. I'm not going to lose money because I did that once before. So
no, it makes sense. Are you starting to move out east? Like it's interesting you say that you like those areas because when I first started flipping, all I wanted to do was like Belmore, Merrick, Wantagh, Massapequa, Seaford, the areas that like everybody wants to buy.
Yeah, those are things that I look at.
Yeah.
So I got in Oceanside for me was great last year because I would get properties in Oceanside, 250, 300. They were all sold before I even finished the properties.
Do you pre-sell?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Have you had good experiences with that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. No, definitely. I'm curious.
Because you know what it is? People look at I'll show them my design and this is what you're going to do. You get to pick it up.
Don't people drive you nuts though? That's what I meant.
Yeah, they do drive me nuts. But at the end of the day, I'd rather be in contract and know that I'm in a contract than to wait for the property to be finished. Okay. And then, you're saving 2-3 months.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
I was just curious because again, I was in the body shop business before this. And part of the reason why I got out of the body shop business is because people were so crazy about their cars.
You're dealing with so many different personalities. Like for me, even, sometimes I post these funny memes. It's like, I'm laughing, smiling, yesing them to death. And like, as soon as I'm done, I'm like, I can't fucking believe this person like wants all this stuff done. But you know what? It's a part of the business. Everybody's personality is different. You have to learn how to deal with people and their personalities and make them happy.
What's your favorite aspect of the real estate business and what you do? Is it the design? Is it the flips? What is it?
It's like getting a house that looks like a piece of shit and like seeing it like done, like, wow, I did that. You ever like looked at a house? I can't believe that I just turned this house that was like literally falling down. Yeah, I love that. Hundreds
and hundreds of houses later, every time I walk into a house with Levy that there's fleas like barreling out the door, I get excited. Yeah. Or every time I see like a hole in the ground or a vacant lot.
And I just wish like you have a cameraman. I wish I had somebody follow me around like, because I'm like, I can't believe like, but it's exciting for me.
You should do it.
Yeah.
No, you should do the cameraman thing.
No.
It is super important.
Yeah.
You think what are your goals? What are you looking to do? Because I know you say I'm 44,
ultimately, like for me, I want to, be able to take care of my kids and give them whatever it is that they want. And, have, by the time I'm like, I would say 55, 60, I want to retire. Like I want to still do what I'm doing, but like not so much.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think you could be successful without like everyone knowing.
Okay. No, that's true.
Yeah. I think nowadays, like we're in an age where everything is like on camera, and it's okay, but it's not for everyone.
No.
It's, so like, you're the handsome guy, you're on TV, you're doing your thing. I'm like, all right, I'm the pretty chick, but I'm chilling in the sidelines. I'm making my money. I don't need, so everybody has different ways of doing things. Like you're great at what you do.
Thank you.
I know I'm great at what I do, but I don't need, I don't need everyone to know what I do.
Of course. No, different strokes for different folks.
Yeah.
The reason why I was asking that question is because like you're such a go-getter. Do you ever think that you could turn it down or turn it off?
I don't think so.
That's
I don't think so. I don't sleep. Do you sleep?
I actually
How many hours of sleep do you get?
I need 6 or I can't function, but I would really like to get like 7 hours of sleep.
Yeah, I couldn't sleep for 7 hours.
But 7-8 hours. But the thing is, from the moment I get up to the moment I hit the pillow, I'm like 300 miles an hour.
I'm like 1,000 miles an hour.
I don't feel comfortable unless I am operating complete and total chaos at all times.
Yeah.
Like if the phone's not ringing, deals aren't coming in, we're putting out fires, I'm like, I'm uncomfortable.
Well, what sign are you?
Scorpio.
Oh, okay, Scorpio. Okay, I'm an Aries, but yeah, I'm constantly like have to do something 24/7.
Yeah, that's because I have these conversations with my friends, and they're like, "Yo, how much is enough? It is enough. At at what level will you chill?" And then I'm like, "Oh, well, I'm doing the flip thing now. I'm doing commercial development."
As long as everything, and you don't have kids, like you don't have a family. I mean, it's gonna be different. Like for me, like I still spend quality time with my family. I like to do family things. So things will change.
Is it easy for you to disconnect?
It is.
Yeah?
It totally is. Yeah. But even though like there'll be times when I'm with my family and my phone rings about business and I still answer my phone, like I'm not going to never answer my phone. Like there's never going to be a day when I'm like, today is going to be the day I'm not doing any work. Like that's impossible for me. Yeah. Like I could be like freaking in church at a funeral. Like I have to, if it's pertaining to business, like I can't ever cut it off.
Yeah, no, that's the I'm the same. Like I have an addictive personality, which is why
I don't have an addictive personality, but I just feel like I have to constantly be involved in what it is that I do. I don't have an assistant. So do you have people that like help you out?
Me?
Yeah.
We have like 25 people.
Yeah. So.
And I'm similar to you. Like I am a little bit of a control freak, but then for me, it gets to the point where you just can't do it all. That's why, like, I'm enamored at how you.
Well, you know what it is. You kind of separate everything, and you know, okay, this is what I'm doing today, and I don't take on more than I can actually do. Okay. So I'm not, going to say, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Like, it's never going to be like, if I have 5 properties that I'm working on, I'm not going to like, oh, let me take on 2 more properties. I've done that before, and I get overwhelmed. Like, I can't. So I know exactly my limit to what it is that I could do.
No, and I think that's important. And the great thing about real estate, I always say, is it could be as big as you want, it could be as small as you want, and you could play the game forever. Yeah. But
I think for anybody that wants to get into the real estate investing business and they're like, oh, I don't know how to start, it's just like, dude, you have to either get your real estate license. That's just one aspect of it if you want to sell real estate. If you want to be an investor, either you have the money or you have someone that's going to back you, or you put some people together and say, we're going to get this deal. Is it a good deal? And just take it from there. I think that's, I always tell people, listen, where do you want to start? You have to start someplace. You can't sit at home like, oh, I want to do it, I'm not going to do it. And it's just something that you have to jump into.
Is that basically the advice that you would give to anybody who's interested in real estate?
Because otherwise you're just going to be like just wishing and thinking and hoping and praying. Like, until you actually get involved and do it, whether you make money or you don't, at least you could say, you know what, I have the experience, I did it, like you.
Yeah, that's true. For me, I'm the kind of person where I analyze the shit out of something and get educated for a certain period of time. But once I get to the comfort level, then I'll pull the trigger.
So how was your first deal when you did it? Was it good?
So my first deal I spent those 3 or 4 years. So my first deal, I didn't have any money. Okay. So I tell a story. I was like, I finally found this house. It was actually on MLS. I paid $10,000 over ask. It was in Massapequa Park. How
much you pay for it?
In the Linwood section. I paid $270,000.
Okay, that's good.
And so I went to this guy who I wanted to borrow money from, who I was actually just on the phone with a few minutes ago. And I said, I got this deal. I'm going to buy it for $270,000. I'm going to put $50,000 into it, and I'm going to sell it for $415,000. And he said, kid, you're nuts. It's never going to work. The market crashed a few years ago. You were in a body shop business. Stay in your lane, make that money, do that. And I raised private money, and I got it. And then I renovated for exactly what I thought. And then I remember my ex was a realtor, so she called me at the time, and I was having brunch, and she's like, we just sold Linwood for $415,000. So I literally bought it for X, renovated for exactly Y, and sold it
for what you wanted to sell.
$Z.
So you did good.
And that was proof of concept for me. Yeah. And I put my business up for sale, and I sold it, and I never looked back.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. And you have to have people too, like, you can't do it all by yourself. Like, I lost a lot of money, and it took me a lot to go to my family and ask them, to get money to do my next flip when I lost everything. So at that point, I'm like, am I going to do it? Am I not going to do it? But I think that if you have people that believe in you and you believe in yourself, then you can make it happen.
How did you know that that real estate was for you, though?
Real estate, because there's no cap on real estate. I enjoy getting up and doing what I do. Some people don't enjoy it. Like, I think with real estate, there's no, okay, I'm just going to sell a property. I'm just going to flip a home. Like, you can do so many different aspects and make money in real estate. You can make, $10,000 a month. You can make 10,000 million. It doesn't matter, So.
Is that part of the reason why you're so diverse? Because regardless of which way things shift, you have the property manager thing, you have the construction thing, you have the design thing, you're going to always do something. Yeah, no, it makes sense. Very smart. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. You're
doing your thing. So, final question. Again, I know you saying that you're going to try to slow down the next couple of years, but I'm curious to know kind of what your goals are for the next, 5-10 years.
Eventually, I would love to get like a multi-family house. Eventually. I just, I want to get to the point where I have residual income coming in without having to like work so hard, even though I'm not working like super hard, just not, be on 100 every single day.
No, I know what you said. I always say I flip houses to buy rentals.
Yeah. You have rentals?
Lots, yes.
Okay. How many rentals do you have?
I have like 87 doors right now.
Look at you.
Yeah.
You're doing your thing.
People always...
Yeah, good for you.
Yeah, we're doing commercial deals. We got a lot of stuff going on. But people always say to me, like, I just want to buy rentals. And they're like, I want to flip houses.
That's not easy. You have a property management company that you work with, I'm assuming.
I built in-house property management.
Okay, yeah.
So people always say, they want to flip houses. I'm like, why do you want to flip houses? Like, I want to buy rentals. I'm like, you don't necessarily need to flip houses to buy rentals.
Exactly.
You just need to make money in some way, shape, or form. Or have the education to be able to build in so much value during the deal that you can borrow all the money, refi out, and go.
How's with COVID? How is that affecting your rentals right now? Has it affected it at all, or no? You're good.
No. So 85% of my portfolio is Section 8 or program based. Okay. So I do a tremendous amount of Section 8 CDC, VA type of rentals. Okay. So I mean, the government pays.
Yes.
And my cash tenants were excellent. I work with a realtor who. She puts all my tenants in. Her and I are like, she knows exactly what I'm looking for, and I trust her implicitly. I don't even meet the tenants anymore.
You talk about me, you're doing a lot more than I am.
So it's, but you're like...
You're doing a lot more than me.
You're managing it and what you do a lot better. But like, I need other people.
Yeah, but I think you do a lot more than I do. I do a lot, but it's not like... 86 properties or whatever. It's like, I have 5 properties that I'm, working on. I have, maybe like another 3 construction jobs that I'm working on. So it's not, the volume is a lot less than what it is that you're doing. So,
yeah, we do, I do anywhere from 70 to 110 houses a year plus commercial development. Yeah. So, listen, it's awesome. Yeah. I'm blessed. Every day I get up and I'm
love the real estate business. Are you a licensed realtor?
No, I actually just got my broker's license.
Oh, okay, good for you.
My broker's license.
Yeah,
but
you can't do it all. Like people are like, oh, are you going to renew your license? I said no, I'm not going to renew my license because, like, I would rather have realtors do what it is that they do.
Yes,
and I do what I do. Stuff. Yeah.
So I always give the deals back to the people that gave them to me. And my father's a realtor, so he works with me now, which is very, very cool. So he sells all my off-market stuff.
Nice.
So, but for me, really, like, I'm a very simple guy. I always tell people I'm wearing like $20.
Listen, I'm a mess every single day. I got dressed up for you.
You are.
Yeah,
now.
I got dressed up, but you see,
okay. I see you every single day, and you are never a mess. Ever.
Yeah, that's for the gram, but yeah, if you see me, I'm like hat on. But yeah, that's my day to day. But it like being a female, I think in this business, for me, I love the fact that like a lot of times I go into order material and they're like, "Where's the contractor?" I'm like, "I am the contractor," and they're like, "You're the contractor?" Yes, I'm the contractor.
Good for you.
And so and then people come to me like, and they're like, "I want you to do my house. I want you to, because I love what you do, and because you're a female, like I want you to do it." So that makes me feel good, like knowing that it's not too many female contractors.
No, you do.
And we do a better job than the guys.
Listen, there are some things that men are good at. Women are better at way more.
Yeah.
And
everything. That's everything. We're better at everything.
I mean, there's got to be
everything.
There's got to be something we're okay at.
Oh no.
I mean, we could probably lift heavier stuff.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe that's it.
But that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you coming down. You're awesome. It was so nice to meet you. If people, because I know a ton of investors listen to this, they are always asking me for contractors. Are you looking?
Have them call me.
Yes,
I'll take it on. Yeah.
How do people get in touch with you? How do they find you on social media?
They can Miss Fix and Flip NYC. That's my Instagram.
MS period.
Yes, Fix and Flip NYC. Yes. And my email is msmissfixandflip.nyc@gmail.com.
That's awesome.
So
thank you very much.
You're so welcome.
Obviously, I'm the handsome home buyer.
And he is very handsome. He's more handsome in person, guys.
In person? Thank you very much. Even if you're lying, I appreciate you humoring me. View of a house that smells like cat pee, dated from the 1960s, land, commercial property, anything I want to buy at 516-777 sold. And if you need permits anywhere on Long Island, we're not in the boroughs yet, but we will be. You got to call the captain. Know before you go. 516-513-8838. It's a wrap.